Hi and welcome back to The Marketplacer, a channel about how to start and grow a marketplace. I'm Igor and I will tell you everything about marketplaces. In the previous video we talked about how to identify your target audience, shape your early adopters, and what marketing channels to use to reach out to them and ask for their feedback. You can find the link to this video in the description. This time I'll answer one of the most popular questions I get from people who want to start a marketplace. How much does it cost to start a marketplace? For those who just need a bold answer to this question, I can give it right away, so you don't have to watch this video until the end. So to launch a marketplace costs from $100 to $500,000 and sometimes even more. Now you probably have a question, why the range is so huge from $100 to $500,000, which sounds insane. So now I'm going to explain why. Before moving forward, I want to ask you to put like under this video and click subscribe button. It will show me that my content is useful and interesting and will motivate me to create more useful content for you. Now let's talk about why the difference in costs of launching a marketplace is so huge. In one of my previous videos, I talked about that when you launch a marketplace, you do not need a sophisticated software, catalog, filters, reviews, payment systems translated to different languages to work in different regions. When you start a marketplace, you just need to make sure that your idea is viable. To do this, you need to test a few of the initial hypotheses that will give you precious information about how your target audience expects this service should work, whether they have a need, if your solution to their need is what they expect, and one of the most important, if they are going to pay for it. The cheapest way to launch a marketplace can be even below $100. To start testing your idea, you can go with a free solution like Wix or Tilda that allows you to create a simple website that explains your idea to the target audience. You can leave an ability for them to subscribe to a newsletter if in this way you're going to test how many people are actually interested in the solution you are trying to build. Add the request form so the customers who visit your website will fill this request form and then you manually will connect them to the suppliers. To start a marketplace in this way, you probably do not need to invest even $1 because the only thing you invest is your time. Testing your idea in this simple way requires a lot of time, but you don't have to invest money in it. But this is a very good way to test whether your idea is viable, test several hypotheses to get feedback from your users and decide whether you need to move forward and how you need to move forward based on this feedback. To start a marketplace for $100 and with some existing functionality, you can use such services like Chrysalid, ShareTribe, Arcadia, and other SaaS products that allow you launching a marketplace quickly, literally in minutes, and you of course will have to configure it, but approximately in 1 hour you can have something very similar to the marketplace. Be ready that probably you won't have an opportunity to change the design, and to be honest, this doesn't make a lot of sense when you start a marketplace. You can have a fancy design, but if your idea is not viable, you do not solve anyone's problem, then it doesn't make sense. Going with the products I mentioned means that you probably will have 30 days trial version and then you will need to pay some subscription fee. Usually this is somewhere around $100, but some packages are more advanced. Some of packages, for example, ShareTribe Flex, allows you to customize the front-end part, change the design and so on. So you can create more advanced marketplace that is customized regarding what your users expect, which matches your target audience and so on. But I would say that this is for further stages after you make sure that your idea is viable. So the option with ShareTribe Flex will cost you around $5,000–$7,000. Depends on the level of technical specialist you will involve in this project. If you are a technical person by yourself, so probably you do not pay anyone else to make this happen. You can invest again only your time, so it will be quite cheap solution. But to work with ShareTribe Flex, you should be familiar with React and Ruby on Rails, because those are the technologies that are used by this product. You also can go with ShareTribe Open Source that allows you to have exactly the same functionalities that you have in ShareTribe Go or in ShareTribe Flex. It's totally free. You will need, again, a technical person to install it, deploy it on a server, and you will need a server, of course. But if you are a technical person, it will be quite fast and easy for you. The downsides are that you will need to work with the code that was written by someone else. Many people created that code, so you need to familiarize yourself with the documentation, the guidelines, and so on. It will take a lot of time, much more compared to starting with ShareTribe Go, for example, or with ShareTribe Flex, or with Arcadia, or with Chrysalit again. ShareTribe is not the only platform you can use for launching a marketplace with a SaaS solution. After you invested significant time in understanding of source code, you probably can build something scalable and customizable, and this can be a good solution to move forward with your marketplace after you tested your initial idea, collected feedback from your target audience, and understood what is the best way to move forward. But this is a price only for a software. But do not forget that you will need to invest in marketing channels to bring users to your website, even you are using a SaaS platform for $100 or you have something simple built on Wix or Tilda. You still need to make sure that users you build this for are visiting your website, and you need to track their behavior, conversions, and so on. To calculate marketing expenses, it's really difficult. It really depends on your target audience and the marketing channels you are going to use. It can really start from a few $100s just invested in different marketing channels to see what happens, what is the outcome for getting initial answers to your hypothesis. The next level of how much it costs to launch a marketplace is simple marketplace built on WordPress, on Magento, or other platforms that were not created to work with marketplaces, but they adjusted their functionality. These solutions can be free in the beginning, but if you want to change anything, you need additional plugins, you need developers who will help you to install or customize those plugins and to make it work in the way you expect it to work. Because to be honest, Magento, WordPress, Shopify, they were not created to work with marketplaces, so you will need to have some kind of workaround to get the functionality in place, and still it won't be like the best solution to have. Fine for some initial stage when you just need something more sophisticated than SaaS and less sophisticated than something built from scratch. The cost of moving with WordPress or Magento can be up to $20,000 because you need a lot of plugins, you need to customize them, and you need people who will do this for you. At this point, you also will need to consider investing more in marketing. It can be like a few $1,000s per month even. Marketplaces are usually about traffic and conversions, so the more traffic you bring to your platform, the more outcome you get at the end of the day, if this is the right traffic, you know, those users that you built this marketplace for. In the most cases, the cost of a technical solution for a marketplace is significantly less than money you need to invest in marketing to promote your marketplace, to bring the right traffic to your marketplace. Now let's talk about one of the most popular ways how to launch a marketplace as a technical solution. A lot of people, when they consider starting marketplace, they want to build it from scratch. This is not the best solution when you are not sure whether there is a market for your idea, if it's viable, if users have the problem you're going to solve, if they want to pay for your solution of this problem. To go for custom development, it's better to make sure that your idea is viable, to test initial hypotheses, to get feedback from your users. When you want to build something from scratch, you probably want to make sure that this is what your users like and this is what they are ready to pay for. To build a marketplace from scratch, you can use two options. You can find an outsourcing company. Another option is to hire developers. The second option I do not recommend if you didn't have an experience in building online products, because you can find very talented people, but when you do not have experience in building products and in managing technical people, in the most cases it will take a lot of time for you to build something. And I know a lot of people who started with their own team without a prior experience of building online products, and they were building their MVP for a year, which is way too long, especially when you need to get something simple as fast as possible. If you want to create a custom marketplace, having your idea verified, but without having a prior experience of building online products, I recommend to find outsourcing team experienced in working with marketplaces. And I want to highlight this, they have to have experience in building marketplaces Before, I talked to a lot of people who worked with outsourcing teams that built their marketplace for the first time for those people, and it was terrible experience. Marketplaces have their own specifics. One of the cases is the sign-up form that has to be as simple as possible. In those cases, it was like 5 to 7 questions for the first step, and then the same for the second step, which affected the conversions significantly. So users who even wanted to sign up for this marketplace, they just left it because it was too time consuming for them. After you found a team that has experience in developing marketplaces, you need to describe for them your vision of an MVP. When I say MVP, meaning minimum viable product, I mean something really simple that you can build in 3 to 4 months. Do not to wait for a long time until you get something to go to the market and continue testing your hypothesis. Why I recommend to work with outsourcing teams? This is because, well, first, I have been working in outsourcing companies a lot. I know a lot about the processes, and if you find a really decent outsourcing team, you can be sure that they know what they do, just because they have a lot of experience with different products, not only marketplaces. Those companies usually work on numerous products. Besides marketplaces, they create e-commerce, CRM systems, ERP systems. To build such different products, their developers have to learn a lot quickly, which makes them quite experienced developers. Usually outsourcing company is a good fit for MVP plus 1 to 3 versions of your marketplace or any kind of other product. To build an MVP for a marketplace takes 3 to 4 months, then each version 2 months or sometimes 3 months. So you can have like around 10-12 months of development. That is totally enough for you to understand that your position on the market is strong enough, your project is going well, you have a lot of users, and you want to continue with this product, with this marketplace, to grow it, to make it bigger. At this point, it makes sense to hire people in-house because you already have the product created that works well, that is documented well, and the team that created it can help your in-house team to catch up with the documentation, with guidelines. Usually in around 1 year after you started with outsourcing company, it makes sense to hire developers, designers, and other people who will work on your product, hire them in-house. If we talk about 3 to 4 months of development, you probably will need to pay $15,000 to $25,000 for a team that is capable to deliver what you want in this MVP. The price range for development from scratch will be between $45,000 and $75,000. Of course, it can be higher. It really depends on how fast you want to build your MVP and how much functionality you want to have in your MVP. These numbers may sound higher compared to hiring people in-house in the beginning. Let's imagine that you hire a developer whose salary is like $3,000-4,000 per month, and you need designer part-time, and you probably will need some testing person because you do not want to do this by yourself. So the cost of such team will be like $5,000-6,000 per month. It depends on in which region you find this team, considering that you need to manage these people and they may not have a prior experience in building marketplaces, so they probably will not deliver you something that outsourcing team delivers in 3-4 months of intense development. So you will need to spend more time to develop something you want with them, the same MVP, and it can be like 6 to 10 months. If your team costs like $5,000-6,000 per month, you extend it to 10 months, it will be like up to $60,000, but you are late for 6 months compared with the development with an outsourcing team. My recommendation is to go with outsourcing team because it will save you a lot of time, and usually time is money. The faster you go to the market, the more chances you have that you will have a leading position compared to the competitors. Also, when we talk about development from scratch, you need to consider that at this stage you need to invest heavily in marketing. It will be like starting from $5,000 per month. And the last and the most expensive way to launch a marketplace, now we will talk about enterprise level software. This option is more applicable for companies that need to build a marketplace as an extension of their operations, for example, to automate or optimize some processes. This usually does not require testing a lot. It works already with using operational resources. May have few departments that run those processes that can be optimized by a marketplace. They need to scale it very fast, or they just need to cut their expenses. So they decide to optimize and automate those processes by launching a marketplace. They look for an enterprise level software that is provided by SAP or other enterprise level players. This software can cost from $200,000 to $500,000. Alright, so in this video we talked about 5 types of costs for launching a marketplace. First is $100 or below it, when you start with something simple using Wix, Tilda, or ShareTribe, Arcadia, Chrysalis. All those services I will put in the description of this video, so you can check them by yourself. The second level is when you take ShareTribe Flex or ShareTribe source code that can be customizable, and you invest $5,000 to $7,000 to make it to get more functionality and to better match what your target audience expects. The third level is to use WordPress, Magento, and other services of this cohort that help you to get a custom theme, a lot of plugins, a lot of functionality, but they require technical people to help you with these, and it usually takes up to $20,000. And at some point you will still need to consider to develop your marketplace from scratch, because those platforms, they are not very scalable and they have their limitations that won't allow you to move in the pace you will need to move. The fourth level is to develop a marketplace from scratch, and here I recommend to hire an outsourcing company that has experience of building marketplaces. This will cost you somehow between $45,000 and $75,000 for an MVP. The cost for an MVP with outsourcing team starts from $45,000 to $75,000 for 3 to 4 months of development. And the last one is enterprise level software that mostly fits corporates and enterprise businesses that cost from $200,000 to $500,000. If you like this video, click like button under it and click subscribe button. This will show me that it was interesting to you, and you also can ask your question in the comments below this video. I will be happy to reply to it. You can ask about anything related to marketplaces. If you have a marketplace idea that you want to discuss with me, or you have an existing marketplace with the challenges you are facing currently and you want to discuss them and get over them, visit my website, fill a short form, and I will reach out and we will schedule a session about your marketplace. Also write in the comments which topic you would like to be covered in the next videos. Thanks for watching this video. I wish you traction, conversion, and satisfaction. See you in the next episode.